In this video, we are going to talk about top 5 facts about Nostradamus. So, before starting the video, please like this video, to subscribe and turn on the notification to our channel for future updates. Nostradamus was born on December 14, 1503, in Provence, and is credited with accurately forecasting the entirety of world history from the time of his death in 1566 until the current day and beyond. In the immediate aftermath of September 11, 2001, the name Nostradamus was the most often searched for on the internet, perhaps fueled by a desperate need to find an explanation for the horrific incident. Many of the world's most important and historical events, from the execution of King Charles I to the Great Fire of London and the rise of Hitler and the Third Reich, were heralded in the 1004-line verses or quatrains written by the 16th-century astrologer, alchemist, seer and alchemist, Johannes Kepler. The killing of President John F. Kennedy, as well as the dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, are also said to be prophecies made by him at the time. The vagueness of Nostradamus' prophecies, as well as their propensity to be interpreted to fit events that have already occurred, are among the reasons for their detractors. Despite the fact that Nostradamus never specified exact dates for his predictions, some skeptics argue that significant historical events can be manipulated to meet his prophetic words. Number 5. Nostradamus was expelled from medical school. While studying at the University of Avignon when he was 15, Nostradamus was forced to depart the following year when the town was struck by plague and the university was compelled to close its doors. Later, he spent 8 years traveling around France, Italy, and Spain while conducting a study on herbal treatments while working as an apothecary, a career that was regarded inferior to that of a doctor at the time. It is still uncertain whether he returned later to finish his medical degree, and there is no evidence to suggest that he did or did not do so. The expulsion paperwork, which was signed by Procurator Guillaume Rondelet, is still on file in the faculty library, despite this. Number 4. Along with a book of prophecies, Nostradamus published a cookbook. Treatise on Cosmetics and Conserves was the title of one of Nostradamus' earliest works, which was written in Latin. Along with recipes for medical concoctions such as laxatives and a rose pill lozenge to treat the plague, the book included instructions for making blonde hair dye, toothpaste, made from ground cuttlefish bone and sea snail shells, or if your teeth are truly rotten and decayed, blue clay, marzipan paste, candied orange peel, marmalade, cherry jam, pear preserve, and quince jelly fit to set before a king. Other unusual things found in the book were love jam prepared from mandrake apples, sparrow's blood, and islets have taken from the arms of an octopus, among other things. It was predicted that the love jam would be so potent that it would cause a burning of her heart to perform the love act when the concoction mingled with saliva during a kiss. Number 3. His predictions were based on the events from the past. It has been widely believed since the 16th century that Nostradamus was a prophet who possessed an uncanny ability to predict the future, but scholars now believe that he did not actually possess supernatural powers to see into the future, but rather possessed the ability to project past events into the future. A former Cambridge linguist and professional translator, Peter Le Mesurier, who has published at least 11 books about Nostradamus, claims that he was neither an astrologer nor a prophet, rather, he just thought that history will repeat itself. By employing a technique known as bibliomancy, which has been around since biblical times, Nostradamus is said to have selected passages from older sources at random and then used astrological calculations to predict when it might occur again in the future. A primary source for his most renowned work, The Prophecies, was the 1522 anthology of prophecies from well-known seers of the day, Mirabilis Liber, while Richard Rosat's Livre de l'État et Mutations des Temps served as the foundation for his astrological references in the prophecies. Number 2. He was criticized for his astrological skills by his contemporaries. It was only 5 years before the first edition of the Prophecies was released in 1555 that Nostradamus began to publish his almanacs on a yearly basis, a practice that brought him widespread disfavor. Agricultural weather information and forecasts were supplied in the texts, as well as predictions for the following year. Eventually, the Queen of France, Catherine de' Medici, became interested in Nostradamus' predictions and invited him to Paris to explain them and draw horoscopes for her and her children. Professional astrologers of his day condemned his inept approach, as well as his failure to alter the predictions for his clients' birth dates or geographic locations. Declaration of the Excesses, Ignorance, and Seditions of Michel Nostradamus was a booklet written in 1558 by Laurence Vidal, in which he harshly condemned both the content of Nostradamus' predictions and his lack of fundamental astrological knowledge. It is stated that I can say with complete confidence that you understand less than nothing about true astrology, as is evident not only to the learned but as is evident also to those who are just beginning to learn about astrology, as your works amply demonstrate, you who cannot calculate the least movement of any heavenly body whatever. Number 1. Nostradamus prophecies were used as a propaganda during World War II. Magda Goebbels, the wife of Hitler's propaganda minister, came across a passage in the book Mystery in von Sinew und Seele, Mysteries of the Sun and Soul, in which one of Nostradamus' quatrains were believed to predict that crises would develop in England and Poland in 1939. This was shortly after Germany invaded Poland in 1939. She brought the passage to the attention of her husband, Joseph Goebbels, and ordered the creation and distribution of a brochure that would persuade those living in neutral countries that a Nazi victory was inevitable, as predicted by Nostradamus centuries earlier, in order to bolster Nazi propaganda. Allies replied by launching their own psychological warfare campaign, dropping massive quantities of flyers over German-occupied territory, alleging that Nostradamus had correctly predicted Germany's downfall. A series of short films about the famed prophet Nostradamus was also made by MGM in an effort to bolster American morale during the war. So, that's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on our video? Please let us know in comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification to our channel before you go. Thank you so much for watching.